everyone. My name is Divya Nelluri, and today I'm excited to introduce you to the fascinating world of nanoparticles and their potential in treating traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs. But before we dive into the science, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm a rising senior at Novi High School in Novi, Michigan. At school, I serve as the treasurer of Science Olympiad, the president of Forensics, and an executive board member of DECA. Outside of school, I'm a volunteer at Corewell Health and the Director of Public Relations at Aid Today, a nonprofit organization supporting pediatric cancer patients. Additionally, I'm a research intern at the University of Michigan Dearborn, where I've had the chance to engage in nanoparticle research. These experiences have fueled my passion for neuroscience and orthopedics. Today, we'll explore what traumatic brain injuries are, understand why they're a global concern, and delve into a potential solution involving nanoparticles based on my research over the summer. We will also look ahead to future research in nanomedicine. The CDC defines a traumatic brain injury as a disruption in the normal function of the brain caused by a bump, blow, jolt to the head, or a penetrating head injury. TBIs are a significant global health issue, with an estimated 69 million cases annually, leading to more death and disability than any other type of trauma. They also cost the global economy approximately $400 billion every year. As seen in the map by the World Health Organization, the most impacted regions are North America and Europe, but the impact is seen worldwide. Additionally, the leading cause of TBI is falling, with 40.5%, then being struck, motor vehicle traffic, and assaults. Traumatic brain injuries occur in two phases. The primary injury phase causes immediate brain damage and cannot be treated. The secondary injury phase, which happens hours or even days later, offers a window for treatment. During this time, the endoplasmic reticulum, responsible for protein synthesis, undergoes a lot of stress, leading to misfolded proteins. Prolonged endoplasmic reticulum stress can eventually lead to apoptosis or cell death if not treated. Severe TBIs also increase the likelihood of developing diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, which causes neurons to degenerate. In the MRI of a brain with severe TBI, we can see how there is much less white matter than in the normal brain. The biggest obstacle for many current pharmaceutical treatments is the blood-brain barrier, a mesh of blood vessels with tight junctions that prevents harmful substances like bacteria from entering the brain. Unfortunately, this also means that 95% of medicine intended to prevent further brain damage cannot pass through the barrier as well. And this is where nanoparticles come into play. Nanoparticles are tiny particles ranging from 1 to 100 nanometers, or 1,000 times smaller than a single strand of hair. When conjugated with a drug, they can cross the blood-brain barrier and deliver the drug directly to the injured areas of the brain. Nanoparticles can be made with a variety of materials, including gold, iron oxide, and silica. In my lab, we had two main goals. First, to create nanoparticles that could cross the blood-brain barrier, and second, to ensure they targeted the injured site. We created gold nanoparticles conjugated with a drug called 4-phenylbutyric acid, or 4-PBA, which inhibits protein misfolding caused by endoplasmic reticulum stress during traumatic brain injuries. In turn, this prevents apoptosis of cells from occurring. Our process started with a gold chloride trihydrate solution. We then used trisodium citrate for reduction and capping in order to prevent the nanoparticles from aggregating. This is when the solution went from a goldish color to a dark red. Next, we added a monolayer made from MUA, a chemical compound, to allow for adhesion with the 4-PBA drug. Finally, we combined the 4-PBA drug and DHR, a fluorescent probe for tracking, with the gold nanoparticles. The resulting solution, as you can see in this vial, appeared to be a dark red color. Taking the solution, we injected the nanoparticles into the bloodstream of mice with traumatic brain injuries. Then, in order to determine if the nanoparticles were doing their job, we analyzed stained images of both TBI-injured and non-injured brain parts of the mice. In these images, the red color represented the neurons, the blue represented the nuclei, and the 4-PBA gold nanoparticles were stained green. The mixing of the green from the nanoparticles and the red from the neurons created a yellow stain in the images. Therefore, if we go back to the initial two goals that we had, we can see that the yellow stain in the TBI injured area shows that the nanoparticles successfully crossed the blood-brain barrier and precisely targeted the injured area. While there is a lot of potential for nanoparticles in treating traumatic brain injuries, we must also acknowledge the limitations. Nanoparticles can sometimes self-aggregate, which can make effective drug delivery to the brain difficult. In addition, the increased presence of metals in the brain raises concerns about potential toxicity. To address these challenges, future research should focus on evaluating the long-term efficacy and the therapeutic properties of these gold nanoparticles. We should also explore nanoparticles made from different materials, like palladium or iron oxide, and conjugate them with various drugs for alternative treatments. Therefore, the key takeaways from today are that 1, traumatic brain injuries are a critical issue with a huge impact on our global health and economy. 2, nanoparticles, due to their small size and ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, allow for targeted drug delivery in TBI treatment. And 3, our research demonstrated that gold nanoparticles could effectively reach and treat the injured brain areas in mice, offering a potential solution where current pharmaceuticals fall short. Looking ahead, there is so much more to explore in this field. This research not only opens new doors for treating traumatic brain injuries, but also for other neurological conditions that are just as difficult to treat. So as we consider the incredible potential of nanoparticles for traumatic brain injuries, let us ask ourselves, what other boundaries can we push with nanoparticles? Here's a list of my references. I would like to thank the Global Health Leaders Conference at Johns Hopkins University for providing me with this opportunity. I would also like to thank my parents and mentors for supporting me, and finally, my audience for listening so patiently. Thank you. I've provided my contact information here, so please feel free to reach out if you have any questions via email or LinkedIn. Thank you.